So, when you think of a creation story, you probably imagine something pretty peaceful, right? A world being spoken into existence out of nothing? Well, forget all that. Today, we're diving into one of the oldest epics ever written, the Babylonian Enuma Elish. And let me tell you, in this story, the universe wasn't just born, it was won, in a brutal, bloody, cosmic family war.
Just listen to these opening lines. They set this incredible scene of a before, a time before time. There's no heaven, no earth, nothing solid. It's all just this swirling, watery chaos. You have to imagine a universe that hasn't decided what it wants to be yet.
And right there, that's the whole ballgame. This isn't a story about serene, orderly creation. Nope. The Babylonians believed our world was forged in the fire of a massive family feud. A war between the very first gods that was personal, incredibly violent, and changed everything.
Okay, so let's get into it. Our story doesn't begin in an empty void. It begins with a family. So let's meet the two primordial beings whose relationship and whose conflict would give birth to the entire cosmos.
On one side, you have Apsu. He's the embodiment of sweet, fresh water. Think of him as order, stillness, quiet. He's the begetter. His counterpart is Tiamat. She's the salty, chaotic ocean, just raw, untamed potential. And when their waters mingled, a whole new generation of younger, much more energetic gods was born.
And here is where we hit our first major snag. And honestly, it's a problem any parent can probably relate to. The kids were just way too loud. Their constant noise and energy drove Apsu absolutely crazy. He couldn't sleep, he couldn't think, so he decides on, let's just say, a very extreme solution. He's going to kill them all. But one of the younger gods, the super-wise Ea, he overhears this murder plot. And to save himself and his siblings, he decides to make a preemptive strike. He casts a spell, puts his own father into a deep, magical sleep, and then he kills him. And with that, we have the first murder in history. This one act of patricide is the spark that ignites a full-blown cosmic war. Now, Apsu's death unleashes something truly terrifying in Tiamat. See, she was actually the one who argued to spare the children in the first place. But now she is consumed by pure rage. Her mate has been murdered by her son, and she vows a vengeance that is going to literally tear the heavens apart.
And believe me, Tiamat does not hold back. She unleashes all of her chaotic power and gives birth to an army of 11 absolutely horrifying monsters to wage war on her own family. We're talking dragons, scorpion men, savage dogs. This is an apocalypse of her own making.
To lead this nightmarish army, she promotes a god named Qingu to be her new champion and her new consort. And to seal the deal, she gives him the Tablets of Destiny. Now this is a huge deal. This artifact basically gives its owner control over the fate of the entire universe. It's the ultimate source of power. At this point, things look completely hopeless. The younger gods are terrified. Even their strongest warriors, like Ea, the guy who started all this, and the great sky god Anu, they're powerless. They each go to confront Tiamat, take one look at her rage and her army of monsters, and they just turn and run in absolute terror.
So this is it. This is the moment of crisis. Your own mother, the primordial force of chaos, is coming to destroy you, and your greatest champions have already fled. Who could possibly save you now?
Well, into this total despair steps a new player, a younger god, the son of Ea, named Marduk. And he's ambitious, he's powerful, and when he looks at this apocalyptic crisis, he sees an opportunity.
And the way the epic describes Marduk, this guy was literally built for this moment. He's got 4 eyes to see everything, 4 ears to hear everything, and fire shoots from his lips when he speaks. The text is making it crystal clear he's the ultimate champion, born to be in charge.
So Marduk agrees to fight Tiamat, but he drives a very hard bargain. He tells the other gods, look, if I go out there and defeat her and save all of you, you have to make me your undisputed king. All of your power becomes my power. He's not just saving them, he's staging a divine coup.
Being completely desperate, the other gods agree to his terms. They hold a great assembly and officially proclaim Marduk the king of the universe. So now armed with their absolute authority and a whole bunch of divine weapons, he heads off to face his great-grandmother in the final world-defining battle.
The battle is incredibly swift and brutal. Marduk traps Tiamat in a net made of winds, then fires a single arrow that pierces her heart and splits her body in half, killing her instantly. He captures her entire army of monsters and snatches the tablets of destiny from her champion Qingu. In one violent, decisive moment, order has triumphed over chaos.
And this is the Babylonian moment of creation. Marduk doesn't make a world from nothing. He builds it from the body of his defeated enemy. It's kind of gruesome, but also amazing. He takes Tiamat's corpse, slices it in two like a fish. He stretches one half out to create the heavens and sets the other half down to form the earth. Her eyes become the source of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. It's a violent but profoundly creative act.
But this new world needs a lot of upkeep, and the gods really don't want to do all the work. So Marduk comes up with one final and pretty grim idea. He has Qingu, the traitor who led Tiamat's army, executed. And from his treacherous blood, the god Ea fashions the very first human beings.
And that right there defines humanity's purpose in the Babylonian worldview. We were literally created to be servants. Our job is to do all the cosmic grunt work, to maintain the order that Marduk created so that the gods could be free. We are the maintenance crew for the universe.
So why does this ancient story matter so much? Well, because the Enuma Elish was never just a cool myth. For the Babylonians, it was a political blueprint, a divine justification for their very real power on Earth.
I mean, just look at this timeline. The story of Marduk, this young upstart god from the city of Babylon, perfectly mirrors the history of Babylon itself. For centuries, older Sumerian cities were the big deal. But then, around the time of King Hammurabi, Babylon rises from a small city-state to a massive empire. And it's later on that this epic gets written down, cementing their god Marduk as the supreme ruler of all the other gods. The parallel here is just undeniable. In the myth, the young god Marduk takes over. In history, the young city of Babylon takes over. In the myth, all the old gods have to submit to Marduk. In the real world, all the old Sumerian cities had to submit to Babylon. The story was sacred propaganda. It was a way of saying our rule on earth is justified because it's exactly what happened in the heavens.
And the influence of this story just ripples through history. If some of these elements sound a little familiar, you're not wrong. Look at the structural similarities to the creation story in the book of Genesis. Both start with watery chaos. Both involve creating a firmament, or the heavens. Both place the sun and moon in the sky. And in both stories, mankind is created last. The fundamental difference, of course, is theological. One world is born from violent, chaotic conflict, and the other is born from a single, orderly, divine command.
And this really leaves us with one last big question. The Enuma Elish is this powerful proof that a story can literally shape a civilization's identity and justify its power. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the foundational stories, the myths, whether they're religious, political, or cultural, that we all live by today? And what kind of world are those stories creating for us?